My girlfriend declined my proposal, explaining that it met her expectations and wasn't what she had envisioned for such an important moment. My girlfriend and I have been together for 6 years, and over Thanksgiving weekend I took her on a week-long trip to Hawaii with the intention of proposing to her. I even asked her parents for their blessing, and showed them the ring a couple days before we left for the trip. We have talked about marriage before and we've both agreed that we want to marry each other, so the idea of it is nothing new and actually a frequent topic. The issue is that she wanted a grand wedding proposal similar to the ones you might see on TikTok, Instagram. Big Mary M.E. letters on the beach, rose petals on the ground, lights, mariachi, etc. I was absolutely on board on doing that for her, if it made her happy. But that was something to be planned at a beach back at home, since I wouldn't have the resources to plan it for a trip to somewhere we've never been, especially because we booked everything as a last-minute vacation just 5 days prior, ironically after she sent me videos of people vacationing in Hawaii. I believe this would be a great opportunity though. I planned to propose to her on the day we arrived. I carried the ring in my pocket all day waiting for a good opportunity to ask her, knowing it wasn't going to be a grand proposal like she had hoped. But I thought because of the circumstances she would be happy. However, we had some completely unnecessary arguments, and I decided to postpone, because I didn't want to do it after a bitter day. Second day there we had booked a reservation to go parasailing. I didn't want to risk losing the ring, so I left it back at the hotel. We didn't get back to the hotel until 5 p.m. and we started getting ready to go back out in the city. By this time it was already starting to get dark. She said before that she would want a sunset proposal. And knowing that I couldn't organize any of the other things she had in mind for a proposal, the sunset was the only thing I had. I missed my chance on that. But we still went out to dinner and drinks. We came back to the hotel afterwards, because she was tired, I was too. It was an eventful day. I let her rest for a bit, and around 10:30 I convinced her to go on a night walk with me at the beach. This was when I planned to propose to her. We got to the beach, the city was very much still awake, and the lights of the buildings and streets, combined with the bright moon, illuminated the ocean beautifully. We stood there hugging and kissing, both knowing it was a beautiful and intimate moment. I started telling her how much I love her, and how I want to be with her my entire life, etc. As I started to get on my knee and reaching my pocket for the ring, she stopped me. "I hope you're not about to propose to me right now. This isn't what I expected." My heart dropped. I got back up and stood speechless before starting to walk back to the hotel. I was in no mood to talk about the situation and told her we should talk about it tomorrow. We talked about it the next day and she insists on me doing it again. But this time the right way during sunset. I tell her I can't do that, because she rejected me already. She tells me she didn't reject it. Just simply it wasn't how she would have wanted it to happen. We spent the next 4 days in Hawaii in a very tense state, but we had to deal with it until we got back home. We lived together and for the first night she went to sleep with her parents. Now she came back, but I don't want to be home with her there. What can be the outcome of the situation? I obviously didn't want this to happen during our vacation. But I can't see it other way. Is this a valid reason for me not wanting to be with her anymore? I also don't think it's right for me to redo the proposal. Girlfriend turned down my proposal during our vacation to Hawaii, because it didn't fit her idea of a grand proposal. Yet insists on me redoing it, how she wants it. Comments. Comment 1. I remember reading this post, and then looking at the user's post history. He rewrote this post 4 times on different subs, but always changed the wording and made him look more of a victim each time. I recall his very first post, Redditors were saying Yita, because he knew exactly what she wanted, and didn't even give her one simple thing like purpose during sunset. He also sounded more like a jerk and was very dismissive. Comment 2. If I were a lady wanting to be proposed to, and my partner decided to do a big, splashy proposal, I would want nothing more than to crawl into a hole and die. And I suspect a lot of Reddit would be telling me I was valid in not being happy about such a proposal. But that means we've got to allow for the exact same strength of reaction in the opposite direction. However horrified we would be at a big, splashy public proposal, we need to not act like it is a crime to have the same feelings in the opposite direction. Update 1. So we had another conversation about it once she came back home from her parents. She's still adamant that I failed to meet her expectations. Admittedly, I understand I didn't do any of the things she had visualized it to be. I want to emphasize that we're young, and the proposals she's seen on social media are nothing but trends. These proposals have become popular in maybe the last year or two. Prior to that, she's told that she wants an intimate proposal and especially away from the public. People are telling me I'm wrong because I knew exactly what she wanted and didn't do it. She also tells me that a proposal is solely about the female and what she wants. I think that's bullshit. I know I've told her that I was on board on doing her fantasy proposal, yet I changed my mind about that. I didn't want to plan this huge thing at my hometown beach just for the spectacle of it. I preferred to do it in a way I knew we'd both enjoy. In Hawaii especially. Something that really bugs me is she says that I made the trip seem like just another trip. Nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. This is literally our first ever vacation flight together. The same night that happened, we had brunch, went parasailing, and had a wonderful teppanyaki dinner. Am I selfish for changing the whole proposal up without consulting her? I don't understand why some people say I'm selfish for not doing what she wanted. I still did something that objectively should make any woman ecstatic. I think my focus now is shifting from wondering if it's okay for me to break up with her for turning me down, to wanting to break up for her ungratefulness in general. Another reason why she said it wasn't up to her expectations was because we were both dressed casually. She wanted me to give her prior notice that something special was going to happen by telling her to get glammed up. Noti to the people asking why I couldn't propose the next day at sunset. Another requirement for her proposal was for her dog to be there, which she told me that same minute after telling me it's not what she expected. She absolutely adores this dog and has always told me she wants him to be ring bearer at our wedding, sure thing. If it makes her happy, I really don't mind. Issue is she also wanted that to be the case for the proposal, which I was absolutely unaware of, and obviously we didn't take the dog with us. She was just too focused on how she wanted the proposal, rather than just being excited about being with me. Update 2. My girlfriend has always been a bit self-centered. I've known that and have been able to put up with it. About 4 months ago she started having therapy sessions. I don't know how long they last, what days they are, or what they talk about. I do know that she has become an entirely different person. She's been more compassionate and cooperative with me, the things I've always wished for her to be more. This caused me to be fully ready to commit to a life with her, hoping this new mentality is permanent. Anyway, she talked to her therapist and told me that she asked her one question. Do you like surprises? She tells her of course she does. She explains to her that as her boyfriend I most likely know that, and was trying to do something heartfelt and unscripted. No mariachi, glamorous dress or big letters, just us two. She further tells her that if she truly felt in her heart that she wants to live a life with me, all of the other superficial stuff shouldn't matter. She's apologizing to me, telling me she really regrets doing that, and assuring me she would have said yes anyway. My biggest regret is, I'll never really know what she would have said. Though in my gut I'm not 100% sure she would have said yes. Her first thoughts when that was happening was completely dismissive of me and disrespectful. Something that for once I feel like I can't take anymore. I'm standing my ground, telling her I've swallowed my pride way too many times in the past, and we should go through with it. I'll be sleeping on the couch. She'll be packing her things tomorrow, and going to live with her parents. Now, for the next story. My fiance's mother gave me abortion pills as an early Christmas present. How do I even begin to handle this situation? We were having a sort of an early holiday gathering hosted at his parents' house. It wasn't a small gathering either, and not everyone there knows we're expecting except his brother, mother, and father. Right before got ready to leave, she gave me a small gift box which I initially thought was jewelry, and told me to tell her or my fiancé what I think of it. All of this kind of happened in a rush and there wasn't even a gift exchange between everybody, because it wasn't that kind of a party. But everyone thought she's being sweet to me, because we're getting engaged soon. I was honestly tired and opened the gift at home, which is where I saw this wicked woman gave me pills, mifepristone and misoprostol, which are used for medical abortion. I understand she wasn't too happy about the news and obviously doesn't like me for fuck knows what reason, but kept it civil, so did I. But reaching this level, I genuinely don't know why she doesn't like me when the rest of the family is completely fine with me. I assume it's because of either my ethnicity or she has a superiority complex and believes I'm not good enough for her son, because he graduated from a very prestigious university, and has been financially privileged his entire life while I haven't been. Even though now I earn my own money, and we are pretty much equal. I simply don't know. I obviously told him and showed him, and he saw how visibly upset I am, comforted me and said what she says to me doesn't reflect my worth and will talk to her. I don't understand why he doesn't do something about it immediately. It has been almost 24 years. We are happy about this pregnancy, and even though it wasn't exactly planned, it was welcome if it happened, and that is something him and I have discussed over a year ago. Tell Drive. At a holiday gathering at my fiance's parents' house, his mom gave me a small gift box. I thought it was jewelry, But when I opened it at home, it was abortion pills, mifepristone and misoprostol. She knows we're expecting and happy about it, but clearly doesn't approve. I have no idea why she dislikes me enough to pull something like this. I told my fiancé, and while he comforted me and said he'll talk to her, I'm upset he hasn't addressed it immediately, and is waiting apparently for the right moment. Edit to those wondering how she could have gotten abortion pills without being pregnant. They can be ordered online and delivered discreetly. You don't have to go to a clinic. Or she could have paid someone to get them. Either way, they are accessible, and honestly I don't give a shit how she acquired them, it's what she did with them. Comments. Comment 1. The world of the wealthy is a truly strange place. Used to work in it, around it as a peon. The norms there are so ass backwards compared to the rest of society. I have so many crazy stories. Comment 2. So much of this post is confusing. I'm not sure why the bit about the whiskey glass seems irrelevant. She joked about taking the pill and he gazed the other direction silently, and she suddenly knew. What exactly? Is she leaving for good? Or just a short trip? Or did she put her ring in the box and is moving out, and he'll eventually find her ring in the box? Like woof just happened. 10 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Update. My partner is from a wealthy background, and I am middle class. However, my family has gone through periods when our electricity would be cut. My father doing any job to get vegetables, fruits and bread. I remember this vividly and am crying and typing, so don't mind my spelling or whatever. While my partner has had everything on a silver platter, and had seen the world by the time I had traveled further than neighboring countries. I do remember at the beginning, when I met him, I mentioned an experience of staying at a hostel. He had no idea what that was and I had to explain. And he was like, oh, so like when you go with a school. Yeah. Anyway, I have traveled a lot staying at hostels and truly loved it, especially when I traveled alone. Met so many amazing people, late night deep conversations, and at a point I was even convinced I had met my soulmate. On that note, the soulmate person, I dreamt of him last night again. I woke up before I got to speak to him again. My partner, born into wealth where few generations of his family got into one of the top 5 universities in the world, traveled, etc. Fuck him, you get the idea. I decided to do something manipulative. I know it is. Probably even illegal. But I had to in order to get him open up. I told him I saw a cool hack on TikTok for a whiskey glass, where you freeze water in the glass while it is tilted, and it freezes so you don't have to add ice. Whatever, you get the idea. So I told him to try it out, but my main goal was to get him talkative and open up to me. And no, he didn't talk to his mother, but once again, fuck her, this is between us. I asked him if it's good that way and he said yes, to which I replied I wish I could try it. But I can't drink alcohol now, and he just laughed. I said, well, maybe I should use your mom's gift, ha. To which he only smirked and looked away from me, and I just knew something was up. I don't want this to be too long, but his mother is insane. She has kicked him out at the age of 11, and the same day she called the police that he ran away, had threatened with suicide and tried to do it, and is diagnosed with a personality disorder. This is as short as I could make it because the update isn't about them, honestly. I told him I personally am unsure about having a child, and he told me he would support any decision I would make. So much for a happy father, but yes. I am leaving the country in less than 2 weeks and I will be having a medical abortion. I don't want to be in this family. Essentially, their opinion is that I am in for the money, which I never even thought about. And I am financially independent. Yes, I do live with him, but I am most definitely able to live without his financial support. The leave is for me to have a break from everything that has happened. And I put actual jewelry in his mom's box, with which the abortion pills came with. It's a break is what I said to him. Because he was in a vulnerable position. And I didn't want to distress him further. But I am leaving and I can most definitely provide for myself. So that's not an issue. In less than 2 weeks I will be away. Once again, thank you to everyone who commented and messaged me. It has been overwhelming, and I can't reply to everything, but thank you very much for being there for me.